Welcome back to Wrestling Flash. In this WWE and all things wrestling video we are going to look at Randy Orton's first RKO victim reflects 19 years later. The end of RK Bro, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns join a faction, Roman Reigns replacement. First let's look at Randy Orton's first RKO victim reflects 19 years later. Tank Toland, the first person to receive an RKO from Randy Orton, recently reflected on his time working with the WWE superstar in 2003. Orton defeated Toland in WWE's Ohio Valley Wrestling Developmental System on June 7, 2003. The Viper picked up the win with a diamond cutter, which later became known as the RKO. Seconds after the match, he used the move again on Toland before Matt Morgan made the save. Speaking on Rene Dupree's Café de Rene podcast, Toland recalled how Orton warned him that he was going to use Diamond Dallas Page's finisher. He said, "Hey, you know DDP, how he does the diamond cutter?" Toland said, "I was like, yeah. He's like, well, since he's not with the company anymore, I wouldn't mind using that, if you don't mind, as my finisher." I said, no, not at all. Of course, sure enough, he hit it on me twice that night and they brought out Matt Morgan. Toland is best known for his run on SmackDown as James DCK between October 2005 and February 2006. He teamed up with Chad Toland, also known as Chad DCK, during that time. Wrestling legend DDP and WWE executive John Laurinaitis used a variation of the RKO before Randy Orton adopted the move as his finisher in 2003. Last year, the 14-time world champion revealed on the Kurt Angle show that he received permission from Laurinaitis to perform the move. He used the Ace Crusher back in the day and he was like, "Take my finish, kid," Orton said. And you know Diamond Dallas Page made the move famous as well. So credit to those guys for letting me steal their ass and make it even better. Orton's tag team partner Riddle has also used the RKO over the last year. On this week's Raw, he helped RK Bro defeat the Street Profits after catching Montez Ford in midair with an RKO following a top rope splash. The end of RK Bro. Raw Tag Team Champions Randy Orton and Riddle, aka RK Bro, have been one of the best things on WWE television over the last year. However, WWE might have started hinting at their breakup. RK Bro kicked off this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, where they were interrupted by the Street Profits, leading to an impromptu title match. While the champs retained their titles successfully, there was a hint of issues brewing between Orton and Riddle. Riddle accidentally hit Randy Orton instead of Montez Ford with his dive off the ring apron during the match. Corey Graves highlighted this in the commentary as a rare miscommunication that could have cost RK Bro the match and their titles. WWE is known for using such terminologies ahead of the split of a tag team. Later on Raw Talk, Orton jokingly complained that Riddle was stealing his thunder by hitting Super RKO. The Viper believed he might have the original Bro go back to using his original finisher, the Bro Derek, because he wanted to keep the RKO to himself. You hitting a couple Super RKOs in the last week or so? Like you're blowing my mind, bro. I might have to have you go back to the Bro Derek because you're gonna steal my thunder. They wanna see me hit the RKO out of nowhere. Bro, I got 10 more years of this stuff. I gotta keep that RKO mine, said Randy Orton. Orton and Riddle started teaming up after WrestleMania 37 last year. Truth be told, no one ever expected these two to become a tag team, but WWE hit gold with their pairing as the two have great chemistry between them. It has been over a year now, and RK Bro is still together. However, Orton recently revealed during WWE's UK presser that the creative wanted to break up RK Bro months ago. However, they talked them out of it. Randy Orton says WWE wanted to break RK Bro up months ago, but they talked them into keeping them together for now. It wasn't too hard to convince them, tweeted Alex McCarthy while covering the presser. Randy Orton and Riddle were initially set to compete in a title unification match against SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, at WrestleMania Backlash 2022. However, the match was changed to a 6-man tag team match with the addition of Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. The babyface trio of RK McBro lost to the Bloodline in the main event. This past week on Monday Night Raw, RK Bro claimed that they still want the Tag Team Championship unification match and will show up on the upcoming SmackDown to demand the same from the Bloodline. Roman Reigns replacement. WWE should remove Roman Reigns' titles from him if he takes a break and then have the Tribal Chief return later to win it back, according to veteran journalist Bill Apter. Recent reports have indicated that Reigns has signed a new WWE contract, ensuring lesser appearances for him. The head of the table is also not advertised for several live shows in the coming months. On Sportskeeda's top story, veteran journalist Bill Apter commented on what WWE should do with the two men's world titles if Roman Reigns takes a break. He feels that the titles should be taken off Reigns, while a tournament to determine the two contenders for the title should be created. Reigns could then make a surprise return and win the final. You strip him of the title and for several weeks, at least, you have a tournament to come up with two top contenders and he shows up in the final week somehow, and gets the bid and wins the final. said after. The veteran journalist agreed with panelist Jeremy Bennett that Drew McIntyre could win the title from Roman Reigns at the upcoming Hell in a Cell. A few days before the WrestleMania Backlash, Reigns dropped a major hint that he would be starting a new phase in his career at a house show in Trenton. "I've been here many times, you know what I'm saying. I've been here a couple of times in the past 10 years, and I'm starting to work into a new phase in my career. And I honestly don't know if I'll be back here again. If that's the case, I just want to say thank you for all these years of support," said Reigns. While a possible move to Hollywood can't be dismissed, it will be a while before he makes the switch, as he currently holds WWE and Universal titles. It'd be interesting to see what Reigns meant in the future. Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship win. Former WWE superstar and Cody Rhodes' brother, Dustin Rhodes, is backing his younger sibling to win the world title after Cody recently made his return to WWE. After leaving AEW at the start of the year, Cody shocked the fans with his return to the Stanford-based promotion at WrestleMania. Since then, he has made it his mission to capture a world championship in honor of his late great father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Speaking on the podcast, The Sessions with Renee Paquette, Dustin stated that he misses seeing his brother on a daily basis. However, he wants Cody Rhodes to capture a world title in the latter's latest stint. "I was happy for him, but I also miss him already. I miss him being there, but I know he's young. Go do your thing. I'm very happy for him. I'm like, hey man, more power to you. Go and get that title. Win it all and do your stuff." The American Nightmare is in the middle of a successful run thus far and has been undefeated since his return at the Show of Shows. After defeating Seth Rollins in a stellar bout at WrestleMania, Cody looked to replicate his success against the Visionary last Sunday. Both the stars exchanged some high-octane moves during the contest. However, Rollins was in control during the early stages of the match. Seth then attempted to imitate the finishing move of Cody's father, Dusty Rhodes, but the prodigal son was able to counter his rival's attack. In the end, the former TNT champion secured the victory with a roll-up. Despite losing twice to Cody, Seth attacked the former this past Monday on Raw and delivered a stomp on the announcer's table. As this rivalry develops, time will tell who comes out on top next. Do you want the American Nightmare to win the World Championship? Sound off in the comments below. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns join a faction. Ric Flair believes Roman Reigns would fit perfectly into the Four Horsemen if the faction existed today. The Four Horsemen is widely viewed as one of the greatest groups in wrestling history. Between 1985 and 1999, Flair featured in several incarnations of the legendary stable in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling and World Championship Wrestling. Speaking on his To Be the Man podcast, the 73-year-old claimed Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton would also succeed in a modern-day Four Horsemen. Rick, Roman, Randy, and I'm trying to think of one that fits in that group perfectly, Flair said. You want to know something? Cody Rhodes. There's the answer. I had to think for a second. That would have been great. 5 members of the Four Horsemen received WWE Hall of Fame inductions in 2012. While Flair did not elaborate on Reigns and Rhodes' Four Horsemen credentials, he did have high praise for his former Evolution colleague Randy Orton. A longtime fan of Orton's work, the Nature Boy applauded the 42-year-old for unselfishly helping his tag team partner Riddle over the last year. It's not even arguable. Randy is the best performer in the business. Male, Flair said. There's nothing to argue about. Aside from his skill, every role they put him in, he's successful at it. God only knows. He's helped who I think is a great kid as well, Riddle. Really made some strides and gains in this business. Realistically, Ric Flair's Dream Four Horsemen stable is unlikely to form anytime soon. Orton and Riddle are currently feuding with Reigns and the Usos, while Cody Rhodes has set his sights on Reigns' undisputed WWE Universal Championship.